Hello and welcome to the Monday Morning Reset. I'm so glad you're here with me today. Well, I don't know if you're like me, but over the last week, I have been seeing nonstop every time I get on social media, every time I turn on the news or read an article, people talking about the fact that now we've been in this pandemic for over a year. And I've read countless stories that people have shared, right, of where they were when they first heard about coronavirus and the things that have changed in the last year for them. The trips canceled, the jobs lost, the families they didn't get to see at the holidays, perhaps even people they knew whose lives were lost because of this virus. And as I have been listening and watching and reading people's stories and doing some reflecting of my own over everything that has happened in the last year, I have just been struck with the amount of pain, the suffering and the exhaustion, right? We're just so overwhelmed with fear and not knowing and not being able to plan things, and we are exhausted and we just want to get back to life as normal, or so we think. And as I've been reflecting over this last year, I've been asking myself and I've been asking God, where were you in this? There were so many dark moments for so many of us, right? On the strange and kind of funny side of things, we had a toilet paper shortage because people were being selfish and they were concerned, and so they took too much. But then on the flip side of things, you see the numbers of people who died, the numbers of people who have lost their jobs, and the uncertainty that many of us have about our health, about our finances, about our families. Where was God in all of this? And as I began asking that question, I realized that this is a very important question for us to be asking ourselves this Monday. As we reflect over the last year, we need to be asking, where was God in this? No, I don't think God caused coronavirus. God didn't cause people to die or to lose their jobs. He didn't cause this suffering, and I will never say that he did, but there were still good things, and God was able to bring good out of it. There were so many bad things for me personally this year, right? And if you were part of Rhythm Church, you saw it firsthand as we struggled and shifted to doing church online, and then back in the building, and then out in the park, and then back online. And there were so many questions for me and so much uncertainty about what my job would look like, what the church could look like. Was I up to the task? I myself missed my family. I didn't see them at the holidays. I worried about my friends and family and their health. I was concerned about finances, and maybe many of you were like that. And I don't want to just be Pollyanna and pretend that there was no bad there, because there was. And it's important for us to acknowledge that, and it's important for us to bring that to God. And I've talked before about lamenting and not shying away when we're with God, right? Not shying away from the negativity, not shying away from the pain and the fear, but it's also equally important to recognize how God did work through some things, the good that God did do in this last year. And so that's the question I just want to challenge you to ask yourself. Where was God for you this last year? Where was the good? Maybe you got to stay at home and spend extra time with your family. For me, I enjoyed having my husband working from home and seeing him all the time. And it gave us a lot of time just to be together at home, and we found a lot of comfort in each other. And we also adopted a pandemic puppy, and she has brought so much joy into our lives. And so while there's so much that I can focus on, and rightly so, there was trauma, there was pain, there was suffering in this last year, there's also some good that I need to get down on my knees and thank God for. And it reminds me of so many times we see in the Psalms, and I talk about the Psalms often just because I think they're this perfect expression of humanity and our relationship with God. And so often you'll see the authors are writing, these pleas to God: please save me, please do this. And then the next chapter you'll see thanking God for protecting me. Thank you, God, for being with me in this. And so I just want to challenge you to spend some time reflecting over this last year, reflecting on the good that God has brought out of this year, reflecting on the blessings that you may forget to be grateful for in the midst of this suffering, in the midst of this pain. But they are there, and God is worthy of our worship. He is worthy of our thanks. and our praise. So spend some time today now acknowledging what he did for you in this last year. May the Lord bless and keep you this week.